I don't mean to have a completely negative show tonight, but we've just gone from youth crime and now I'm going to talk about anti-Semitism on the streets in Melbourne. We have to raise these issues. They're important issues. And, you can't help but wonder if our streets are becoming unsafe, this time for Jews in Melbourne. I mean, we just saw on Tuesday night that some members of the Jewish community, they had tickets to attend a debate at Melbourne City Hall. They had tickets to attend, but on their way in, they were accosted and knocked down by Palestinian protesters as they tried to enter. You can see this in the vision right now. One Jewish man who was pushed over by the pro-Palestinian supporters, he was then dragged away from police. You're watching that now. He was accused of disrupting the peace. Even though he had tickets, he was just trying to walk to Melbourne City Town Hall.
We will discuss this in a moment, sir. You're breaching the peace.
I am not.
You are breaching the peace.
We actually have tickets to go to the town hall to hear our community talk.
So that's Mark. His wife is Sharon. You just heard her arguing with the police there. I'm not going to say their surnames for security reasons, but they join me live now from Melbourne. Mark and Sharon, thank you both so much. Look, what's your response to being dragged?
Thank you for having us, Sharri.
No, well, thank you for coming on the show and showing your faces and being courageous enough after what you went through. But, what's your response to the police there accusing you of disturbing the peace?
Well, I'm not an expert in navigating violent mobs. I live in Melbourne. I'm a member of the Melbourne MCG. I go there very often, 90,000 people. All I did was I had a ticket. The policeman said, go through that door. I tried to go through the door. I was accosted, assaulted, and arrested.
I mean, you were just trying to go to the town hall debate that was going to be on whether the council was supporting a ceasefire in Gaza. It's actually quite shocking that it is now not safe for Jews to walk through the streets in Melbourne. Sharon, how did the protesters know that you both were Jewish and supported Israel?
Well, whether or not we supported Israel was, I guess, a mystery to them, but we were obviously not of their ilk. Mark was wearing a kippah, so perhaps we were identifiably Jewish. I do want to just say one thing. You obviously didn't get the memo from VicPol, which is interesting because you actually said that quite correctly that we were accused of disturbing the peace, which is in fact what occurred. Interestingly enough, Catherine Moffat, who is the media advisor for VicPol, actually sent out a media release to the entire media in Victoria saying police removed the men from inside the crowd for their own safety, and when it was discovered they did not have valid tickets to enter Town Hall, they were both moved on from the area. The men did not report being assaulted to police at the time. Interesting, because in those three lines, there are three completely false claims. First of all, own safety. No, you're correct. We were told we were removed because we were breaching the peace. In fact, we were told we created a mini riot. Secondly, the police demanded to see our tickets and we immediately complied, and they admit that on camera. So again, I'm not sure why they would have pushed the line that we didn't have valid tickets. And thirdly, the men did not report being assaulted to police. Repeatedly, we reported being assaulted and questioning with why on earth we were the ones being hauled off out of the town hall that we were trying to get to, and allowing the peaceful protesters, who were far from peaceful, to actually stay there.
Well, that's Victoria Police trying to cover their position, trying to say that they were removing you for your own safety. It's what they said when they arrested Mark Spiro, the one Jew at the Opera House protest 2 days after the terror attacks. But that's them covering their position because you can clearly hear in that video the police officers accusing you both of disturbing the peace. I mean, you have to look at an incident like this, Mark, and you just wonder whether Victorian police are failing to protect Jews and instead are providing safe passage to these aggressive left-wing protesters.
Well, let's call them aggressive left-wing protesters. I was walking through the city of Melbourne. Many people want to walk through the city of Melbourne. We've had enough of these people all the time carrying on, blocking the streets, abusing everybody. You should hear the names I was called walking through the streets. last night.
Zionist pig, for one. And my friends who actually left the town hall afterwards, who'd actually made submissions and made speeches at town hall, when they left, they were called genocidal baby killers and everything else. And interestingly enough, like when you talk about the protesters being given safe passage rather than us, you're absolutely right. They're treated as if they're the royal family with a sidewalk cordoned off for them. And we're asked, you know, how dare we actually walk through them as if we didn't have all the right in the world to be there, which is really strange. I would have thought if the police were actually trying to keep the peace, their goal would be to allow law-abiding citizens to go about their legal business and maybe remove the protagonists rather than ourselves. And on that topic of the protagonists, this is clearly not their first rodeo. They are absolute experts at surreptitious assaults. Like, I didn't even know how Mark hit the ground. Actually, your video footage last night was actually quite illuminating for us. And also the Real Ructions video where he was assaulted by exactly the same people who assaulted us. They actually use their chests. Yeah, they use chest bumps
have a look at that
and
now.
surreptitious kicks, which they think won't be seen.
Well, let's have a look at this video from the independent journalist Rukshan Fernando. Here it is.
Are you? Sorry? No, I'm working for myself, man. I'm working for myself. I'm working for myself, man. Calm down, bro. Calm down, bro. Calm down. I'm not going to be intimidated, man. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. These people are threatening me.
You're going to get your head punched in.
For what? Are you saying they're violent?
Mate, you're causing the issue.
I'm not causing the issue. I'm just reporting.
Okay, well, I respectfully ask
You guys have to protect me.
I respectfully ask.
I respectfully ask you.
The other side of the road,
I
not in the crowd.
Mark, look, the outcome of this is that Jews who are just trying to peacefully walk through the streets to attend a city town hall debate, you were arrested just for walking through, for being pushed down. You've now obviously made a police complaint, as we reported last night, for you know, the protesters assaulting you. But what's the response now from the Jewish community? Is it that we stay out of the city? Is it that, you know, or do we stand up to the intimidation and be subjected to this sort of treatment? You know, where does this leave us?
Okay. Well, personally, I can't speak for the community as a whole, which is very difficult to talk for a community. But I myself would be, you know, why do you want to put yourself in danger? Where is safe in Melbourne? I can't go to the Melbourne Town Hall. A friend today said they got accosted outside Zara in the Burke Street Mall. Where is it safe to go and not have these radical people blaring with megaphones? One was, you know, it's just one. Another friend of mine was accosted on the steps of Parliament when going to have a meeting with the minister.
By the same protagonist, interestingly enough.
So it's the same
protagonist. And just on that topic, if the police would have actually been making the streets safe and removed the protagonists after they assaulted us, Rukshan wouldn't have been assaulted 2 hours later.
Well, exactly. Instead of arresting Mark, it's absurd. Mark and Sharon.
And I'm very disappointed that the police have come out with such false statements.
Wow. I mean,
and if they were doing their job, they'd be removing the violent protagonists, not our good selves.
Yeah. You would have cause to take action against the police if you so choose for being falsely arrested. Mark and Sharon, thank you so much.
It wasn't the story intended, but here we are.
Thank you very much for your courage.